Hello and welcome on the Watches TV. Recently we mentioned a few times that the world of distribution and retail in watchmaking is definitely evolving. For instance, here in Geneva we've witnessed this evolution with the gradual disappearance of most multi-brand boutiques, and you only have a few very big players still in the business. In parallel, we've seen so many mono-brand boutiques open, and I'm not saying that they are all fantastically profitable, because if you take into account the exorbitant rents these guys have to pay, the staff, the security, and so on, well, you then need to sell quite a large volume of watches to cover all these expenses. But again, being here in Geneva, these boutiques can be considered as flagship stores. They are the facade of these brands, kind of a marketing tool with a different business rationale. But in other large cosmopolitan cities around the world, we also see this trend. Many brands are pushing to get out of existing retailing contracts to open their very own monobrand boutiques. And it's a way of course, internalizing some margin, but it's also a way to offer these customers a much wider selection of products compared to what multi-brand retailers can offer. Not so long ago, we heard Mr. Jean-Claude Biver mention quite openly that retailers need to adapt their model, offer something different, otherwise they will simply disappear. So quite some brutal statement, but indeed reflects the reality of this evolution, not even mentioning the development of online sales directly controlled by the brands themselves. So in this context, we wanted to explore a bit more what are some of the options, and start with the interview of a pretty famous Parisian retailer who some 30 years ago already decided to take a slightly different route. Mr. Laurent Picciotto is internationally well known in the collector community for his singular approach, and I thought it would be interesting to know more on how he came into the business, what makes him special, and his takes on the future of retailing.
The idea was to concentrate most of the brand that I like on the same shop, and because a lot of brands that I like are also, for part of them, independent and unknown sometimes, it was not easy to find the shop that I opened finally. It was 88, 30 years ago, and the market was very different. So it was the people who sell jewelry and a little of watches, and just the fact to say, okay, I want to open a shop only with watches and high-end watches for mostly, was not, of course, something. It was a kind of innovation. I started with Gérald Janta for 2 years as a monobrand store, even if the name was Chronopassion. It was one of the most expensive brands on the market at that time, and also with a very hard and deep design. So it was okay for some people and not for some others. So I realized that I have to go further. So I took maybe 15 brands on the third year. The goal was, okay, I choose, if I find there is something interesting to bring to the watchmaking history. It could be technique, it could be design, it could be just some details. On the other hand, we opened a long time ago an AP shop, so it was also the way to do the expression of the old brand. Today this is with Hublot, which is the same story. So the first motivation of the people who come to see us is they come because they already got a good background on the subject. They want to see what is the dark side of watchmaking, if I can say. Surprise me is always the goal. So that's why also we work generally on several projects with different brands to do a unique piece or a limited edition or a series of unique pieces. If a guy wants to play the guitar after he bought the watch, there is no problem. You know, we're here to exchange on a subject that we like, and the selection is the same story. We got a piece at €1 million, but if there is a very interesting piece at 1,500, we will carry it. I remember a customer coming in, he just stopped, look at a watch on the window, went in, look at the piece, ask for the price, and start to insult me, you know, deeply. Say, okay, but I don't understand what's going on. I say, because he said, I didn't plan today to spend that fortune, but the watch is such amazing that I have to take it. But really, you like the devil, you know. I hate you, and I won't come again. It's really a big trap. I say, please, I didn't catch you in the street. Surely, you will spend like a lot of money on this piece. But at the moment you leave our shop, you're somebody else. Honestly, you get the same proudness that when you went to school with your first watch a long time ago. Like, hey, I'm still thinking like a toy shop. I mean, the rationality is not meeting the type of product that we sell. It's like a painting. I mean, you can fall in love with a painting, and okay, so you can buy it or not. And if you buy it, and it's like it's very difficult to share the emotion that you have until the point you will spend the money to go back home and live with the stuff for a certain time. In my opinion, today, if we're talking about business, the world is going with brands. And when I'm talking about brands, this is true also for luxury brands. And sometimes luxury brands, we can consider that this is not anymore luxury brands. This is mass market luxury brands or industrial luxury brand. It doesn't mean I don't want brands, you know. Actually, the last brands that we signed for the next future is Bulgari, which is an institutional brand, but they did very well with the Finissimo Octo, which is wonderful. And I have no problem to integrate the Finissimo in what we do. But the selection is the identity generally. And of course, our shop is unique because of that. There is some people that they do that way on a certain number of independent people, but they have on the other side a lot of institutional that they can finally support in terms of business, the independent. We just follow the emotion. And if tomorrow nobody is interested by watches, well, we'll see.
So this is it for this first episode regarding special multi-brand retailing, and later we'll share another interview giving us a broader understanding on how distribution actually works. So thanks for your time, see you soon, and viva watchmaking!